Durante meses en el condado de Tarrant, bueno, se ha visto un mayor enfoque especialmente en la seguridad electoral y el proceso de votación de cara a esta noche.
Así es, y nuestro colega Keenan Willard está afuera de la sede electoral del condado. Keenan, ¿qué estamos viendo ahí a esta hora?
Mucha actividad aquí porque este lugar es donde el condado está contando las boletas de esta elección de ese año y falta poco más de 3 horas para que se conozcan los primeros resultados. Mira, esta es una transmisión en vivo de la sala donde se almacenan las boletas en la oficina electoral de Tarrant. Es una de las nuevas medidas de seguridad electoral que el condado ha puesto en marcha este año, también con una mejor capacitación para los trabajadores electorales. Según el proceso, los funcionarios electorales dicen que justo después de las 7 de la noche tendremos los resultados preliminares de la votación anticipada y después a las 9 vamos a conocer más resultados, incluidas las cifras de la jornada electoral, seguidos de informes actualizados cada hora hasta que finalice el recuento. Al igual que el resto del estado, el condado Tarrant tendrá hasta el 19 de noviembre para certificar oficialmente los resultados de estas elecciones. Y estamos atentos también a cualquier denuncia sobre supuestas irregularidades en esas elecciones. En este momento estamos reportando desde este lugar durante toda la tarde y noche aquí en Tarrant County. Pero por el momento, a ustedes.
Gracias, Keenan. Y sabemos que ahí en el condado Tarrant hasta las 3 de la tarde se habían presentado a votar 104,000 personas.
Así es, y seguimos contabilizando esos votos.
In Tarrant County, there has been a lot of focus on election security and the voting process. Keenan Willard is outside the county election headquarters. Keenan, what are you seeing there?
Brian, a lot of activity, as you can imagine. This place behind me, the location where the county is actually handling their voting tabulation process, taking into account all those early votes, absentee ballots, and of course, the votes that are still steadily coming in until that 7 o'clock and maybe beyond deadline here in Tarrant County. All those polling places very active on Election Day, and we're seeing that. The county recently telling us 144 or 141,000 voters at least have submitted ballots at this point on Election Day. Now, a look at the process here as we talk about this warehouse in North Fort Worth where this process is going down. This is a live stream of the room inside where ballots are being stored in Tarrant election headquarters and also part of that tabulation process. It's one of the new election security measures the county's put in place this year, along with serialized paper ballots and enhanced training for poll workers and people handling that count process. Now, the way the process is going to work here, election officials say just after 7, so a little more than an hour from now, we're going to start getting the first results from early voting, and then results, including the election day totals, will start coming out at 9 p.m. That's going to be the first report, followed by hourly reports 10, 11, until the county officially finishes its initial count from Election Day and early voting. So that initial report of all of the numbers for Tarrant County could come out this evening. Like the rest of the state, Tarrant County will have until November 19th to officially certify the results of this election. Now, one thing we're talking about is this discussion about election security and new measures that have been put in place in Tarrant County. And you want to see how much really security measures have been put in place here outside of this headquarters. You can see how many Fort Worth police units are out here. We counted 8 just a moment ago before several of them moved to the other side of this building. So you can see there's definitely a heightened sense of wanting to protect the people who are carrying out the county's operations here, make sure that no irregularities happen, that any disputes that might take place out here. We've been monitoring activities at polling places throughout the day and have not seen any serious disruptions occur to operations. But we're going to be out here for the rest of the night talking about the results and also taking a look at the process. Brian.
We are closely watching races for sheriff across the 4 largest counties here in North Texas. In Dallas County, incumbent Democrat Miriam Brown is unopposed. She defeated former Dallas County Sheriff Lupe Valdez in the primary.
The same goes for incumbent Collin County Republican Sheriff Jim Skinner, who has been in office since 2017. NBC5's Keenan Willard is covering the races for Denton and Tarrant County Sheriff tonight. Hi, Keenan.
Hey, Brian, we are following these two more contested, obviously, races, but both incumbents in these counties have more favorable political situations just because of the voter makeup in their counties. But let's start with Denton. You can see here incumbent Republican Sheriff Tracy Murphy won his last election by a landslide, securing more than 94% of the vote in that contest. Now, tonight he is facing off against Frederick Bishop, an Army veteran who spent 2 decades as a Dallas PD officer. We just got the county's early voting totals in the last few minutes. minutes, showing Murphy currently leading the way here with 60% of the vote. And out of the race getting the most widespread attention across Metroplex sheriff's contests, Tarrant County, where incumbent Republican Bill Wayburn is squaring off against Democrat Patrick Moses, a former federal law enforcement executive. Now, Wayburn has the endorsement of the governor and the Fort Worth Police Officers Association, but has faced criticism over more than 63 deaths among inmates at the Tarrant jail during his tenure. These first early voting and absentee numbers just came in again a few moments ago. They show Wayburn leading with 54% of the vote so far there. Now, some experts say with Tarrant and Denton counties being Republican strongholds, they expect all 4 incumbents in the Metroplex to still be sheriff tomorrow.
I think what you're going to see in the Metroplex, at least in terms of county law enforcement, is a pretty strong continuation of the status quo.
Now, of course, those were the primary early voting and absentee numbers, and we're going to continue to get more updated information, usually starting around 9 o'clock, including those election day voting totals. So more updated information coming with all 4 of those races, and we're going to be updating on those in the hours ahead. Back to you all.
All right, thank you, Keenan. Can we talk a little bit about how is the ballot process going there in Tarrant County?
Well, good thing you asked, because we're actually standing in front of the place where it happened. This is sort of a warehouse setup owned by the county and where this elections process is being run tonight. And you can actually take a live look in at a camera showing this tabulation room where all of these employees have been going in and out, going through this process of counting early ballots, absentee ballots, and of course those votes that have been sent in today on election day. And the way this process is going to play out is this. We got those first numbers in Tarrant County at 7:15 for early and absentee voting. We're going to get our first numbers that actually include election day tallies starting at 9 o'clock. After that, administrators say there could be a 10 o'clock report, 11 o'clock, on the hour, more updated information until the county completes its count entirely. So that camera that you were just looking at there, one of the election security measures that was implemented by Tarrant County, a real hot button issue, really the most across the Metroplex when it came to the months leading up to these elections. There's that camera that is feeding the ballot tabulation area. There are also serialized paper ballots and increased training for poll workers and the people who are actually handling this count process. So a lot of attention being placed on this process, and we're going to continue to monitor that as well. Katie, Brian.
También las contiendas en los condados Dallas, Collin y Denton. Algunos expertos dicen, Keenan, que no parece que habrá muchos cambios, ¿correcto?
Colegas, en 2 de estas contiendas de esta noche, los alguaciles titulares no tienen oponentes. En 2 de las otras carreras hay situaciones muy favorables políticas por los candidatos actuales de ser reelegido. Y vamos a empezar en el condado Dallas con el titular, una demócrata, el alguacil Marion Brown. Ella ganó su primaria en el mes de marzo y no tiene oponente esta noche, y por eso ella va a ganar absolutamente su posición otra vez esta noche. Y lo mismo ocurre con el alguacil republicano del condado Collin, Jim Skinner. En el condado Denton, el alguacil republicano Tracy Murphy ganó su última elección en 2020 con el 94% de los votos. Esta vez se enfrenta al demócrata Frederick Bishop, un veterano del ejército que pasó 2 décadas como oficial de la policía de Dallas. Ya tenemos los primeros resultados de votación anticipada allí, mostrando que Murphy está al frente con 60% del voto. Y ahora la contienda que recibe la mayor atención, el condado de Tarrant, donde el republicano y actual alguacil Bill Wayburn se enfrentará al demócrata Patrick Moses, un ex ejecutivo de las fuerzas de seguridad federales. Now, Wayburn cuenta con el respaldo del gobernador de Texas y de la Asociación de Oficiales de Policía de Fort Worth, pero se ha enfrentado a críticas por las más de 63 muertes de presos en la cárcel de Tarrant durante su mandato. Los resultados preliminares de votación anticipada muestran a Wayburn con 54% del voto ahora. Algunos expertos dicen que los condados Tarrant y Denton son bastiones republicanos y creen que los 4 titulares continúan siendo alguaciles mañana. Pero por el momento y por las horas que vienen vamos a mantener nuestra posición aquí en el condado Tarrant, mirando los resultados cada momento y hora. Por el momento a ustedes otra vez.
Bueno, esta noche los 4 principales condados del Metroplex básicamente votaban sobre quiénes serían su sheriff.
Nuestro colega Keenan Willard está en el condado Tarrant siguiendo las contiendas también de los condados Dallas, Collin y Denton. Keenan, algunos expertos no proyectaban realmente grandes cambios y parece que no los habrá.
y que realmente esta noticia sobre esta contienda al condado de Tarrant no es una sorpresa de verdad, porque este condado tiene una mayoría así grande de votantes republicanos, y este alguacil aquí, el titular republicano Bill Wayburn, declaró solo hace unos minutos su victoria. Estaba enfrentando a Patrick Moses, un ex ejecutivo de las Fuerzas de Seguridad Federales. Los resultados preliminares muestran Wayburn con 54% del voto ahora. Y en el condado Denton, el alguacil republicano Tracy Murphy ganó su última elección en el 2020 con el 94% de los votos. Esta vez se enfrenta al demócrata Frederick Bishop, un veterano del ejército que pasó 2 décadas como oficial de la policía de Dallas. Ya tenemos los primeros resultados de votación anticipada allí, mostrando que Murphy está al frente con 60% del voto. En el condado Dallas, la demócrata Marion Brown no tiene oponente hoy, absolutamente, ella va a ganar. Y lo mismo ocurre con el alguacil republicano del condado Collin, Jim Skinner. Colegas, vamos a continuar nuestra cobertura aquí desde el condado Tarrant, pero por el momento a ustedes otra vez.
We are closely watching the races for sheriff across the 4 largest counties here in North Texas.
Yes, NBC5's Keenan Willard is in Tarrant County. This is where Sheriff Bill Wayburn has now declared victory. Keenan?
It happened just a few minutes ago, Brittany, and experts told us leading into this race that this development not wholly unexpected, just because of the Republican stronghold that is Tarrant County and the influence of that block of voters here. Now, as you said just a few minutes ago, we got that blast notice from the sheriff's office. He is the incumbent, the Republican Bill Wayburn, alerting his supporters that he's declaring victory, saying he pledges to continue advancing his agenda to fight crime in Tarrant County for the next 4 years. Now, Wayburn was squaring off against Democrat Patrick Moses, a former federal law enforcement executive. The most updated numbers in that race show Wayburn leading with 54% of the vote so far. Now over to Denton County, where incumbent Republican Sheriff Tracy Murphy won his last election in 2020 with 94% of the vote. The county's latest results tonight show Murphy leading the way here with 60% of that vote total. Now over to Dallas County, where incumbent Democrat Marion Brown is not facing a challenger. She won her primary back in March, so she effectively sealed her position for 4 years back during the primaries. And the same goes for Collin County, where incumbent Republican Jim Skinner also guaranteed to win tonight because he has no opponent. Now we're going to continue following those races and many others occurring here in Tarrant County in the hours ahead. But for the moment, back to you all.